This is Adam Watson.
And Robert Diaz.
You're listening to the Darkslinger Mafia podcast. So I found out about this new thing Kickstarter is going to be starting today called Drip.
You know, I saw an email about that, but I didn't read it.
You didn't check it out?
I clicked on it because I was looking at my other emails, and I was like, no, I don't care.
Okay, so I just want to start before I even say anything about what it is by stating that I hate that name.
Drip?
Yeah, I don't even need to know what the program or whatever it is before I know that I absolutely hate the name Drip. When I hear that, the first thing that comes to mind is chlamydia.
It's a little odd way to take it.
Well, that's what they call chlamydia, right? Is you have the drip.
I've never heard that, but okay.
That's what I've heard from the elderly generation, that it used to be called the drip. So
You mean all the old dudes in your life that had it?
they probably did have it. But anyway, so I read everything that they had posted about it. And at the moment, it's an invite-only thing that's going to be opening to full, everybody can join status some point in 2018. It didn't have, as of today, an official opening day when it'll be out of beta, but it said early 2018. From everything I can glean about it, this is 100% Kickstarter's Patreon. So apparently this was a company that was doing crowdfunding-based subscription services, just like Patreon does, that was on the brink of going out of business, and then Kickstarter purchased them, which almost seems kind of weird to me, to purchase what is, in essence, a failing business, but if anybody can make a go out of it, I'm sure it's Kickstarter.
They just crowdfund it.
Yeah, they could just crowdfund it. The thing is I see this, and now I'm kind of in a weird situation, because on the one hand, I wanted to start a Patreon for Bovine Muerte, eventually the podcast. And I think on Patreon you did, or at least you used to, actually name what the project was. I know there are people these days that are just doing it as individuals. This is what they do and this is what they're going to put out if you support them. But from what I read in the message and what they have posted on their website, Drip is going to be more that you're funding an individual in whatever creative things they do. So if you started something on Drip, I put on there that I have the webcomic Bovine Muerte. I have the podcast that I'm currently doing, the other podcasts that I do. And it'd basically just be blanket funding for all of that stuff. I don't see a reason you couldn't do both. I mean, opening up multiple revenue streams is a good thing. But you're going to want to push one of them harder than the other, no matter what, right?
You can't push both of them?
You can, but you're always going to be pushing one thing harder than you do other things. Because it's just a time consideration. You only have so much time to promote so much stuff. I can barely find time to post stuff on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
So the whole question is, to me, with me looking at it, and there's very little data to go from at the moment because this is a brand new thing. They haven't even fully opened yet. But you have Patreon, who's already kind of owns that particular space of crowdfunding, where you have the subscription based, everybody pays a certain fee, or not even a fee, they make a donation basically monthly, they get something out of it, and it doesn't work quite like Kickstarter does. And now Kickstarter is entering into it, doing the same thing. Patreon is already in this space. But on the other hand, you have Kickstarter coming in, and Kickstarter is a huge crowdfunding site. It's going to be a big thing because Kickstarter is doing it.
Probably, but maybe people are like, no, I don't want Kickstarter for this. I want Kickstarter for my project.
And that very well could be. I mean, that is what has happened with other online businesses. Like, how many things has eBay tried over the years?
No idea.
That have ultimately failed. They've bought up lots of businesses over the years that have failed. I mean, or businesses that weren't failing and then eBay bought them and they ended up failing. Half.com, do you remember that site?
No.
It was basically the alternative to Amazon. It's where you went when you wanted to sell DVDs and books, things that had UPC barcodes that you could look up by the barcode, enter it in, enter your price. It worked very, very similarly to Amazon. I actually thought Half.com had a better look to it, though, than Amazon did. eBay bought it, and they tried rolling it into their system, and they tried various things. Ultimately, they just ended up shutting it down, mainly because eBay didn't understand it. So there is that kind of concern where Kickstarter understands all or nothing crowdfunding, and who knows if they understand fully how to do the subscription-based model like Patreon does.
Is it the same basic thing? You know, like you're donating so much a month and getting something out of it?
On the official Drip website, they list a series of companies that do things that are similar to what this is doing, and Patreon is listed as a company that's already in the space. So considering the fact that they put them in right in there, I would think, yes, this is absolutely the same exact thing as Patreon does. They even have a section that was a little confusing, wasn't quite clear, about how you can transfer over payments and so on and so forth, that make me think that perhaps if you're already getting donations on Patreon, you can somehow transfer them over and have it handled by Drip. But I would think that would be a little bit intrusive towards your person that's your patron on Patreon.
I don't see how they could just transfer that straight over unless one owned the other.
Yeah, I
no
don't know how that would work.
anything.
I'm not an expert in it. I'm sure if they're posting about it, though, there's a way they could do it. But I know that if I had become someone's patron on Patreon, and then all of a sudden it was transferred over to Drip by Kickstarter, I wouldn't like that. Because if I'm donating money to you through one crowdfunding channel, I don't want it to all of a sudden go to this other crowdfunding channel. You know what I mean at all?
Why not?
It's basically like a permissive thing. What did I give you permission for?
Yeah.
I gave permission for this to be a transaction through Patreon. I don't want to buy something off Amazon and then find out that it comes through eBay.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
So basically, at the moment, it's too early to tell what all exactly this is or is going to be. But as I'm nearing the beginnings of my subscription-based crowdfunding rollout, it's leaving me with the question of which one do I want to go after? Do I want to wait for Drip to be open and try this out? Do I want to try both? Do I want to just go ahead with Patreon because I know they already have a foot, or not a foot, they already have, a handhold in this particular spot?
Well, they are, like you said, they already have it, and you don't know when you're going to be able to start a Drip.
Yeah, you don't. You do not. Are you laughing because you don't know when you can start a Drip?
Yeah, that's funny.
It is. It is.
Just let it trickle in.
So what do you think of that name? When you hear
Drip.
Kickstarter, the name makes total sense. When you hear Patreon, the name makes sense. I want to at some point try doing crowdfunding through Indiegogo, but the name Indiegogo never had implications to me like the name Kickstarter did. You hear the name Kickstarter, you can get pretty much immediately what they do from that name. You hear the name Indiegogo, it's just kind of not the same thing.
Yeah, I've never bothered to go to Indiegogo.
Okay.
I just always thought, there's Kickstarter.
Right.
I'm just going to go click on that, see what they're doing.
Yeah. So Indiegogo kind of seemed to be the knockoff almost of Kickstarter to you or something.
Yeah.
I think Indiegogo might have either came out right at the same time or even a little bit before Kickstarter.
I thought they were
I'm
around
not
the same time.
completely positive on that, but I can get what you mean. It does kind of have the Kickstarter light feel to it in a lot of ways.
It's just like with any other popular brands.
Yeah.
People go with what they hear more.
Right. Yeah. If you're a Coke drinker, then Pepsi seems like the knockoff in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, some bullshit like that. So, with Patreon already being in this space, is that what it seems to you from the consumer standpoint? Because I'm looking at this as a creative that wants to raise funds to do the things I want to do. You would have a completely different perspective than me.
Well, I've never gone on to Patreon to check it out.
Okay, fair enough.
And
But
I've
you're
checked
familiar
out
with
Kickstarter.
with the website existing.
Yeah. Some of the YouTube videos I watch use them
Okay.
to raise their money.
Okay.
So I know I know the basis of how they work, and you can get stuff from doing it from all these places, but I guess Kickstarter does have a brand loyalty
Yes.
that you'll get from it. But who knows? You know, if you want to start it sooner, I'd go for Patreon just because it's already there.
Yeah. No, that is most likely what I'm going to
And
do.
then, you know, if this drip thing seems to really trickle in, then you switch over.
So many jokes that could be made.
Yeah, man, just turn that tap on. There's something there about trickle down economics.
There's just something about that name.
You don't want it dripping on you?
No.
What if it's a lot dripping on
It
you?
does not imply anything in particular to me. I know what the drip is supposed to signify. Somewhere in my brain, I realize, it's the trickle, all that.
Oh, yeah.
But all the same, I hear it and I just think STD. So
You know, like when you see the little things on your bar on the top of your phone, like the little alerts.
Yes.
And it doesn't really tell. It gives you like the brief thing. Well, mine said introducing the drip
Okay.
for the on the email of my Kickstarter. I think that's what it said.
Uh-huh.
And just from looking at it, I was like, "What is this? Like someone's new thing that they want funded? Like a coffee drip?"
Yeah. Okay, so that actually makes two of you I've talked to about this so far who have said something similar.
Oh, I
Because
realized what it was when I clicked on it. They talked a little bit about it.
when you clicked on it, but
Yeah.
not when you just saw it in the email.
No.
So when Audra saw it, she thought someone was trying to crowdfund for a new type of shower head. Shower heads have been really in her mind because she wants a new one for her apartment. So she got excited at first, thinking it might be something to do with a new shower head that someone was trying to crowdfund, instead of what it turned out to be. So two people that got the email who I've talked to thus far thought that it was something completely different than what it ended up being. So, interesting. There might be a bit of an upward battle trying to get people to associate the name with what it is. Where I personally don't think there's that issue when you hear Kickstarter or Patreon or even GoFundMe. GoFundMe is simplistic. You know exactly what you're getting into if you go on that website.
And Kickstarter, you're kickstarting my business.
Right. You're kickstarting my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indiegogo, not so much. Drip, not so much.
No.
No.
I don't know what I think when I don't really envision much for Indiegogo besides like just something that I don't trust.
Well, when I first heard Indiegogo, it just made me think of disco clubs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think, like some skeezy place.
Yeah.
You wander down a back alley to find.
Some guy's got his shirt unbuttoned all the way with a big gold chain.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, but then again, what's in a name? We discussed that in the first episode, and there would have been a time period people would have heard the name eBay or Amazon and would not have thought of what they are now. When I first heard Amazon just as booksellers, it made me wonder what the hell the Amazon had to do with bookselling.
I don't really recall what I thought of with all that stuff.
You
I kind of just grew
really young when Amazon and eBay.
I just kind of grew up with them becoming what they were.
What year were you born in?
92.
Yeah, see, you don't really remember a time period that they weren't in the common lexicon.
No, I remember eBay before Amazon.
Yeah, it's because around like 97 through 99, everybody was on eBay all the time looking for just whatever they could find.
That's where all the cool kids went.
Yeah, basically.
Then the Y2K happened.
But your generation's not really into eBay the same way my generation was.
No, we're into Amazon because you'll ship anything to my house in 2 days and I never have to see anyone.
Yeah.
Including my groceries.
A lot of the generation seems to actually be in crowdfunding too. So.
Yeah, and nowadays these people will come into your house and stock your shelves and fridge for you.
They will?
Away. Yeah. It's like a new thing they're trying to roll out. I want to say Amazon and maybe some other place like Walmart or Safeway
I would never use that
stuff.
program. I'd be so pissed off if they came to my house and tried to put stuff away.
It's for really fancy people, I think, that have like
fancy people
cameras and stuff. So have you seen like those cameras on your front door?
Uh-huh.
So they can recognize this person is coming here. And
they have facial recognition software?
I guess, but yeah, you don't know if this person's in there stealing shit or...
Well, if they have a camera on their front door, they probably do in their kitchen too. So, I'm still working pretty diligently to get the Patreon and the Kickstarter going. So last time we recorded, I was 2 pages away from the end of the Bovine Muerte Pro smoking commercial. That since wrapped, and I posted a holiday image. What'd you think of the pro smoking commercial?
It was funny. I like the surprise ingredient.
The surprise ingredient,
And
which, since it's available to read online, you can go ahead and spoil what it is.
Unicorn horn.
Ground up unicorn horn.
It's good for all sorts of things.
It is.
I like the very end the most when he's like, "What are you doing back there?"
And it turns out the announcer's smoking the whole time.
I kind of imagine the announcer as like the Motel 6 guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one doing it.
Now, something that kind of surprised me when I was meeting up with my friend Jay, he and Elias, who's been on the show before, both thought that the person who was interjecting and putting all the disclaimers in was supposed to have been me as the writer. Did you realize that there was an announcer all along, or did you think that as well?
No, like at the end, that's when I started to picture the Motel 6 guy.
Okay.
But at first, I kind of thought more you as the writer.
Okay.
But once you put in an announcer, then it just kind of
I wonder
changes
if you guys thought that because you know me and know I'm the one writing this, or if there's something about the way it's conveyed. Because normally, if I read a story, I don't assume it's the writer interacting with the character.
No, I don't normally assume that either. I think it's just because we know you.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That we're putting that together.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think anyone else would just think it's any old announcer, insert generic announcer.
Right.
Here.
So all in all, you found the 7 pages to be pretty entertaining?
I thought it was funny. Good response to it.
Yeah, there was a pretty good response to it. It's the first El Bovine Muerte actual story, not just pinup, that I'd posted in quite a few years. And some good news since then. I was using that short and the Independence Day pinup to test out new artists. I love Paul. There's no problems between him and I, but he's just so incredibly busy these days. So I have to use somebody new for the new El Bovine Muerte pages. And I've absolutely loved working with Gabriel. I talked to him since then about staying on and doing the next issue. So he's on board for issue number 4. The moment I have him working on something a little bit different, he's doing a Thanksgiving Day pinup that should be available to view the same time that this airs. And he's doing a 4-page Ghost Assassin commercial for El Bovine Muerte. And then after that, you can ask me in a minute. And then after he's done with that, hopefully right after, but it's kind of his schedule permitting, he'll be starting work on El Bovine issue number 4. So that's finally going to be coming out.
I like the holiday things with Les Mime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want at least one holiday image for every single holiday. Eventually, even the smaller things or the holidays that have sort of been forgotten, like Beltane and things like that. I put the images at the top of the website every month that have the Darkslinger banner and all of that. And eventually, I'd kind of like to have almost like a calendar where you come in April and you see Les Mime Easter image at the very top of the page. Halloween, I have 4 or 5 different images at this point to choose from to put up at the top. Christmas, I have a few images, so on and so forth.
2 questions.
Okay.
Can't Easter fall in like March or April?
Yes. I just picked April because I think it's most commonly then.
Well, but also, I would think for April and Les Mime, April Fool's Day has got to be his.
April Fool's Day, okay. Yeah, I would like to do one for April Fool's Day too. Eventually, I would like to have those, all of those, like every single holiday.
That seems like it like you would think that's his favorite holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't actually make it his favorite holiday. It'd be something random.
Yeah, something...
like Boxing Day in Canada or something like that.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I actually have no clue what Boxing Day actually is.
We're American, of course we don't.
Yeah, but I think from the context of what El Bovine Muerte is, it'd be perfectly fine to do something based off a holiday I don't understand too. So, at the moment, I have an Independence Day image, 4 or 5 Halloween images. Did you like the newest one that Gabriel illustrated?
Halloween?
Did you see that? Yeah, it's the one where Les Mime is taking Muerte and Bethany trick-or-treating.
He's trick-or-treating.
And he's Robert Von Helsing
from
Chronicles Von Helsing, and they are David and Todd from Ghost Assassin.
I like that. That's
okay.
real good.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. When he sent it back to me, I absolutely loved it.
I like the cow the best.
As Todd.
That was
Okay,
funny.
well, you're going to get to see that again in the 4-pager.
Oh, the commercial?
Yes, you'll get to see Muerte as Todd once again.
I think he's just such a great character to cross into
Yes.
everything else. He doesn't have to actually be in it. It's just like the promotion of it.
Right.
It's funny.
So El Bovine Muerte is actually going to be a part of my marketing strategy for the Ghost Assassin Kickstarter. And I don't want to start the Patreon or Patreon. Which did we decide for that?
You can say it however you want.
Okay.
The first way I heard it and the way that the people that I watch on YouTube say it is Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. I don't want to start the Patreon until after I've ran that 4-pager because I don't want people to pay for something that's good El Bovine Muerte content, but at the same time is meant to be a commercial for one of my other comics. I prefer to start the Patreon at the same time that I start issue number 4. So he is 3 out of 4 pages completed with the Ghost Assassin commercial. Do you have any questions about that? You look like you have some questions.
No, I think it'll be funny.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I'll just wait till it's further done. Like he has 3 out of 4 pages, you said?
3 out of 4 pages are complete.
Completely done?
Completely done.
Oh
Yes.
man. I haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah.
That's
So
lame.
you've seen the Thanksgiving image though, the pencils for it.
The pencil looks good. I think it'll be even better in color.
Yeah, I think so too. So we'll also have a Thanksgiving Day image. So cruising right along with getting all the holiday images done. Years and years and years ago, one of the first images Nick did. For those of you who don't know, Nick Larson was the original artist on El Bovine Muerte. One of the images he did when he was just screwing around was he had made a Valentine's Day image of Lay Mime holding a heart-shaped block of cheese and had sent it to me. I love that. So one year for Valentine's Day, I might have to return to that.
Lay mine Valentine's Day cards.
Yes. Yeah.
But they'd all be like gifts to himself.
Yes.
Even better.
Yeah.
Well, plays off the smoking.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Technically,
these are not for you.
I could already do 2 Valentine's Day cards out of the pro smoking commercial because there's a one page where the girl thinks he's going to give her the chocolate, so that could be like a nice Valentine's Day card. And then there's the one where he's telling her to go away, these are not for you. And that could be an anti-Valentine's Day card.
I like that one. Like you open it up and then that's what it is.
That's the one you give to your girlfriend?
Yeah. Like you have a card and chocolates, one in each hand, and you give her the card, and she thinks you're going to get the chocolates until she opens it, but you're eating it as she's reading it.
That would be great.
I'd do it.
So I'm just going to give you a little tease for the Ghost Assassin commercial. So the basic premise of this is that Lay Mime has been asked, by me I guess, to do a review on Ghost Assassin issue number 1. But it's not holding his interest even remotely because he's not featured in it. And that's the basic premise of this little 4-page. So when I do the Ghost Assassin Kickstarter, I'm going to be running this on El Bovine Muerte, 1 page for every week that the Kickstarter is live.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Should be funny.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with the way the pages look. I think they turned out great. I think I wrote something that's really funny.
I like the new artist on it.
Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's turning in some great stuff. I really like working with him.
Where's he from?
Italy.
Fancy. Can he speak English? Or do you gotta like put together some broken English or translate?
Honestly, when you're dealing with someone that's from a country that English isn't the first language, you don't know if they speak English or if they're using a translation service unless they tell you. So I haven't been told one way or another with him. I don't want to make any assumptions. I know a few of my artists use translation services because the email will say it's been translated by this program at the end of it. But I've made the mistake of thinking someone didn't speak English in the past and found out they actually did. And they're not using translation service. It's just the language barrier that exists, is it not being their first language. I get asked a lot of times at conventions because I work with such a international crowd of creators if there are any problems with that. Generally, there are not. There are so many tools these days that exist that'll help with the language barrier or anything like that, or you can always just message and ask.
Yeah, I think Google's putting out a thing where he just goes in your ears
Yes.
and it translates it right there.
There's actually a few different companies that have that coming out.
Yeah, but everybody loves Google, so.
I don't.
Oh, no? What
No.
do you use to search for stuff?
Me?
Bing?
Bing.
Go fuck yourself.
Bing, Yahoo, whatever. Anything that's not Google.
Yahoo search.
I hate Google because they named their phone Pixel.
What's wrong with that?
It's stupid. It doesn't invoke anything. You hear the word iPhone, you know exactly what that is.
When I hear Pixel, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's a dot on a screen. It's not a phone.
No, now I think of the phone.
Yeah, that's
I
you.
mean, at first I didn't. Well, when iPhones first came out, people were like, okay, it's the same shit.
No, they were all like, okay, I own an iPhone. And then they went around saying iPhone all the time instead of just phone.
They're a bunch of idiots.
No, it's an elitism thing.
Oh.
If I lose my phone, I'm not like, I lost my phone, help me find it. I'm like, I lost my iPhone. People with iPhones always add in the I. You always say iPhone.
They're a bunch of idiots. I lost my phone, that's what I say.
That's because you don't have an iPhone.
I don't want one. I don't need one.
Okay, let's get this back on track.
What the hell are we talking about?
We were talking about how I'm using the Bovine Muerte pages to advertise the Ghost Assassin Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you like
and
that?
it's funny.
Yeah.
I think it'll work well. I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it slides you right in. Hey, you think this is good? Check this out.
So as excited as I am to see issue number 4, though, issue number 5 is what I'm really, really anticipating.
That's where you're getting
right
to?
Yeah, because when I wrote issue number 5, it was one of those that I just instantly wanted to see drawn up. You know, issue number 4 is kind of, it's a transitional issue. So it's one of those that you need all of this information to get you from point A to point B. But it is more information heavy, like in the scripting phase, because I had to have a transition to get these characters to where I wanted them to be. Issue number 4 is a lot of transition of where the characters need to be in order for issue number 5 and 6 to happen. Issue number 5 is just pure fun. And so I'm really, really waiting on seeing that issue all drawn up. Cannot wait for it.
Just trying to get out this next one. Get it over with.
Yeah, but at the same time, I love what I did for issue number 4. I think it's going to look great drawn up, and there are some really good action scenes in there. But that being said, issue number 5, it's a ton of fun.
Folks,
I guess I can't really say too much about it because it's still quite a ways from being seen.
Yeah, people haven't even seen this next one yet.
Yeah, I know.
Jumping the gun. You're getting too excited.
I know. Well, I've had issue number 4 and most of number 5 written up for years now.
And you're not done with 6 yet?
Oh, no, I'm done with 6. I'm done with 6. But issue number 5 introduces you to this whole new phase in Bovine Muerte. So I can't give away too much. This sucks.
He's going through a new phase in his life.
Well, yes, but I can't even tell you that. Issue number 5, Le Mime, is in, but it's not him that I needed to transition in issue number 4 for issue number 5 to happen.
Intrigue.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. So anyway, I'm basically going to have to push back the Patreon a little bit in order for Gabriel to get started on issue number 4 and start posting pages from that. And I figure I'm going to post the Patreon when I know that I'll be able to successfully post every page from issue number 4 on time and deliver it on that Wednesday schedule every single week.
Nice. It'll be like a nice little thing for the people that are contributing. Is that what you mean?
Well, yes, but I also don't want to get a Patreon going, have somebody paying a monthly fee saying you're going to get 4 pages this month and then be like, oh, just kidding, we missed our release and we only did 3 this month. No, I want to deliver on exactly what I'm saying I'm delivering on.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's what everybody should strive for.
Yeah. So to that end, I want to wait until Gabriel, is this many pages ahead so I can start posting them and get the Patreon going to support it and, get a good lead off.
Any idea for a date or like a time frame?
Well, he only has 1 page left on the Ghost Assassin short, and he's doing the Thanksgiving Day image, and I may potentially have him do depending on if he wants to do it or not, a Christmas pinup before I get him going on the issue number 4, because once he gets going on issue number 4, I don't want him to have to pause to do another pinup. I'd prefer that, he's just able to just work straight through issue number 4. And I don't know what his schedule is like towards the end of this year, but as soon as he has a good 4 pages to me, that's enough for me to go ahead and post the first page, because that'll put the other 3 that are done, 3 weeks. Basically, I'm 3 weeks out at that point from needing the 5th page, right? So in that time frame, I know he'll have, 5, 6, 7, 8 to me. So I'm not sure if it will be seen in 2017 or if it's going to be the very beginning of 2018. Whatever the case, it will be in the next couple months.
Is he artist and colors?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does his own coloring.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Talented fellow.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, Paul did his own coloring in issue number 3 and on the covers and pinups. Brian Janchez colored issues number 1 and 2 in the half issue. And he also colored Nick's stuff when Nick was the artist on the first issue. When Nick do 15 pages, I think. But I think we only ever colored 12 of them because I'd switched over to Paul halfway through.
What else are you doing to promote the Kickstarter?
Okay, so I actually have a much bigger marketing plan going into this than I've ever had for any of my other Kickstarters, which I think is a good thing. So for starters, I want all the actual items prototyped. So I'm just about to where I am completely happy with the lettering on all 3 of the first issues. So if you remember, the coloring is completely done on issue number 1, halfway completed on issue number 2, because the second story that appears in issue number 2 still needs to be colored. And issue number 3 is all done pencil-wise. But I'm going to go ahead and letter all of it because I am doing the raw editions as one of the incentives. So I'm almost done with all the lettering on the last part of the second issue and on the third issue. After I'm done with all the lettering, I'm going to have my printer in Portland do some prototypes of both the raw issues and the colored version of Ghost Assassin number 1. And I am prototyping up every single thing that's going to be an incentive in this. So one of the things that I'll have for marketing is just the ability to post photos on social media that shows exactly what you're going to get if you back this project. So that actually falls into the marketing strategy. Second thing I'm going to do are the normal type of ways that you promote, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, Tumblr, Twitter, newsletter, all of those sort of things that you would normally do, right? I'm trying to write up as many of those posts ahead of time as possible and trying to actually use different ways of doing it than I've done in the past, because when you get to about the 10th day of a Kickstarter and you're just posting once again, please visit my project and consider backing or share this, yada yada, it gets really mundane.
It's just the same shit.
Yeah, there's a monotony to it that drives everybody insane, right? And the more you just post something in the exact same way again and again and again, the more people start tuning out. I've seen this 100 times from you in 30 days. I'm tired of seeing this. So I'm working on creating all of my social media posts for that now. So I'm getting various panels reshaped to the size that I need them to be posted on Instagram, things like that, so that I can advertise it, by panel on Instagram, which my Instagram also auto-populates to my Twitter, my Tumblr, and my Facebook. I've already got 3 podcasts lined up to make appearances on when I have the Kickstarter going. I want to get that number up more, because the more places that you can go on and talk about what you're doing, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, you can explain it.
Yeah, you can explain it. You can try to get people hyped up for it, excited for it. In addition to that, I'm doing some physical marketing materials. So one of the things that worked really well back when we did Who Will Save the World is before a convention that I went to, I had printed up just some little one-sheets and this little tiny comic that was 4 pages that was printed on the cheapest paper possible. I think that the printer that I used for that probably just used copier paper for it.
It's found in the recycling bin.
Basically. But I got them printed up as cheap as possible, and then I put them into the hands of everybody at the con and everybody at the signing I did during the time Who Will Save the World ran, right? So I'm going to actually be making up some trading cards that feature images that are pinups I've been sitting on for a while, but I haven't done anything with up until now, or covers for the actual issues. I haven't decided which I'm doing yet, and I might do a mixture of the two. But I'm going to be taking those around to as many comic shops as possible that will allow me to put promos in, and handing those out at all the conventions that I do around the time the Kickstarter's running. In addition to that, I'm going to be sending those out in orders that I do through eBay. So if you buy something from my eBay store, be prepared to get a promo item packaged in with whatever you ordered.
Hell yeah, why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm for sure doing the trading cards. I might do postcards as well. And I might also do a little just cheaply made mini comic once again too. So something that's very small, probably be a little bit bigger than a trading card, probably around like 4 pages, and pass that out as well. I have 3 different Ghost Assassin paper dolls made up. If you've ever seen me at a convention as Darkslinger Comics, or you go to my website, which is www.darkslinger.com, you may have seen the promo paper toys that we give away. I have 3 made for the Ghost Assassin universe of Paul Johnson illustrated. I have Todd, David, and Melissa all done up as the paper toys. I'm going to have all 3 of those being given away on the website during that month. And if I am able to do any conventions during the time the Kickstarter is running, I'll print up a certain amount of those and give them away for free as well. I've done very well off of those as a promo item in the past. No reason that I shouldn't still do very well with a promo item. I'll be making up promotional PDFs that feature the first 6 to 8 pages of the first issue that I'll put on the website, and also drop onto any of the digital comics channels that I'm currently on. So like Drive Through Comics, I'll put it up there. And I'm going to use a Thunderclap It before the Kickstarter launches.
The Thunderclap.
Thunderclap It. So Thunderclap It is a website that
Kind of reminiscent of the Drip.
except for when you realize what Thunderclap It does, the name makes a bit more sense than Drip.
Go on, I don't know what it is.
Okay. So Thunderclap It is a website that, say like I'm doing this Kickstarter. So I say, hey, I want to get the word out to as many people as possible the day this launches. So what you do is I haven't used it yet, so I could be wrong on some of the details, but you say what you're promoting, and then you try to get people to go there and sign up with either their Twitter, their Facebook, their Tumblr, or all 3. And you have to get at least 100 people signed up in order for it to work. It won't send them out if you don't get that many. So it's like Kickstarter, and then it's all or nothing, except for the people don't have to put their money out for it. So if you signed up with your Facebook and you're saying, I'm giving this permission to post on my behalf on my Facebook on the day that I believe I set up. I don't know if it's exactly when the Kickstarter launches or if it's at a time of your choosing. It'd actually be nicer if it's a time you're choosing, because then you might be able to get the initial rush of the people who are on Kickstarter all the time, who may see it as a new project, and then, might already have a little bit of funding by the time everybody sees it. And if you don't know, on Kickstarter, when people see something has some funding, it's more likely to get funded. So basically what it does is it pushes these posts out on all these social media profiles.
It's an ad bot.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. But it's an ad bot that you've willingly
subscribe to.
Yeah.
That's actually a really smart idea.
Yeah, it is. So, you can increase your social media reach with your Kickstarter by 100-fold by doing this.
So you talk about this social media stuff, and I'm pretty old for my age.
And how old are you again?
25.
25, okay.
I don't use Facebook.
Right. You have one, but you don't use it.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr or any of this stuff. There's one thing that I use that all these hip young kids are doing.
Okay.
Snapchat.
Okay.
You should consider that because during the whole
I've
run,
downloaded Snapchat.
I can see mine right here.
I just haven't done anything with it yet.
If you make a Darkslinger Snapchat, you can send it out. You put stuff on your story, it stays there for a period of 24 hours.
That is also something I'm doing right there. So I will be doing that with Snapchat when the time comes. But Facebook and Instagram are also doing stories that appears for 24 hours. From what I understand of Snapchat, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think I heard about the Facebook thing.
Instagram does the same exact thing. So
I don't know which
Facebook,
one came
Instagram.
First.
I think Snapchat did.
I think Snapchat came before Facebook when it came to that sort of stuff, but I don't know about the other one.
Instagram had theirs up before Facebook did, and Facebook is simply through Messenger app. So it's not actually something you see on the Facebook page, I don't believe. I think it's just something that you see strictly on the app. But I've noticed when I do a posting to Facebook, my engagement's fairly low, right? However, when I put something up as my Facebook story, I actually get pretty high engagement off it, right? So I figured every single day I would take a snapshot of where we're at with the funding process and post it to my stories for the day. So that's another way that I'll be marketing it.
On Snapchat, they got all the. Have you seen it?
I've seen Snapchat.
Filters and shit.
Yes.
All this crap. You can pay to have your own thing made. So I don't know how long it lasts. There's probably a certain amount of time for how much you pay.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take pictures and swipe on it and then put that thing on there and then send that out.
Right.
And I think I don't really know, but I think it works within a certain area.
Okay.
Of where you make it. So people around here could be swiping through it and then they'll see it.
Right.
And just more promotion.
It would be. If it costs money, though, I have to go within reason.
I tried to get people at my work
what sort of budget I can set, I do believe 100% in putting skin in the game. You got to spend money in order to make money. I fully believe that. And so I'm putting out the money for the trading cards, some things of that nature. I'm planning on paying for some Facebook advertising. But there's only so much I'm going to be able to put money out for.
I tried to get my work to do it, but they're pretty old people. So no one really cared for that idea, even though all the people that were employed for the event were younger than me and using...
Well, Facebook stuff. Now allows you to make your own frames for your images too.
Well, isn't that fancy?
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how it works yet, but I saw Ben Krager a few weeks ago had done a frame where it was a scythe for the Black Suit of Death. Beyond that, my marketing is mainly just going to be consisted of trying to put together a street team, so to speak, of some of the people I know on Facebook who have good reach, who I know won't mind helping out with the promotion of it, and trying to get copies out to every reviewer that'll talk about it.
Did you just say street team on Facebook?
Yeah, I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah, I don't know what they would be called these days.
I don't know either. But it's basically your internet street team, right?
There's got to be a term for it.
There's got to be a term. So, there's also the common things you do that you just do business-wise, like sending out press releases, things of that nature, but there's only so much attention I'm going to focus on that because there's only so many websites that are going to run a press release about a Kickstarter unless you break a funding goal by this time period or you're the most funded or anything of that nature. If you give them a newsworthy story, they're going to talk about it. That being said, not every Kickstarter is going to have a newsworthy story. So I think my time's better focused in that way and trying to find people who will review it, especially YouTube reviewers. Because, YouTube reviewers can get a lot of hits. So in any case, that's my main marketing strategy for this Kickstarter. You have any questions?
Incentives?
We went over our incentives in a previous episode that was titled Ghost Assassin Kickstarter.
Okay, I didn't remember if you told me that you weren't talking about or some crap.
Oh, no. We talked about the incentives. Physical print edition, a digital PDF. Once I've hit 100 physical backers, I'm including a trading card free to everybody. Doing a metal print. You remember the metal print?
I remember the metal print.
Doing a t-shirt. There is one incentive that I'm still not talking about that I may or may not be able to pull off. But those are the basic incentives. And the raw editions of number 1 through 3, they're going to be the pencils with lettering straight over the pencils, not colored or anything like that. I want to keep the incentives as streamlined as possible and not muddy it by doing 1,000 different things. One of the issues I had with Kickstarter, or with Who Will Save the World, on top of a whole lot of other issues about that Kickstarter, but one of the big issues was that we did too many different things. It's just like, oh, we hit a certain goal. Let's go ahead and just throw out another stretch goal, right? I didn't understand properly what stretch goals were at the time. Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that.
You don't want to overplay your hand.
No. So, I'm doing a few stretch goals, but one of them is going to be for a physical print edition of number 2 and a PDF of issue number 2 that'll go out for free if I hit this amount. That you don't have to purchase an edition. You'll just automatically get it. I want to keep everything as streamlined as possible, offer a few things that are really kick-ass, like a metal print, and, a t-shirt. The kid in me still likes trading cards, so I want to be able to send one of those out for free if we hit a certain amount, because I've offered trading cards in my other Kickstarters, and it seems to be something people like, but not necessarily something they want to pay for. So the trading card exclusive tier wasn't something anyone ever really took advantage of, but they seemed to enjoy them when they were included in the larger tiers. So I don't think I should do a tier that's just a trading card. Instead, I hit 100 backers, you get a free trading card for that.
Yeah, you don't want to ask too much.
No.
For a trading card.
Yeah, and I can get them produced so cheaply. I know places where they're just pennies to produce.
Some of them look really cool. Trading cards.
Oh yeah, I think so far Darkslinger Comics has produced 12 trading cards.
Yeah, you seem to really like trading cards.
Yeah, well, they're easy to produce, and they're fun. And when I was a kid, I collected them.
Yeah, you grew up in a time.
Yeah, I grew up in a time when you collected them, so,
That was just what you did.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, I did too.
I missed that.
Oh, you missed that. Oh.
Yeah.
You probably missed Pogs, too, didn't you?
Oh, no, so I had some trading cards of, football, basketball, hockey. I didn't know any of it, we just had them. I was like, oh, cool, this stuff. And then Pogs, we had some of those too. I was an adult before I knew there was a game about it. I couldn't even tell you what you do with them.
But yeah, I guess there are quite a few of the collectible fads that I grew up during that you completely missed.
We had it, just I didn't know why we had them. I didn't know why we had any of that stuff. It was just, you're a kid and you have a bunch of stuff around you, so you're like, yeah, let's touch it all.
Yeah.
We had those big rectangle boxes, at least 2 of them, full of trading cards of basketball and hockey and football. I don't know what the hell happened to them. Probably got thrown away because someone was like, what the hell do we need this for?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a time period when trading cards were just massively huge. And I'd go into the grocery store with my mom, right? Could go buy an X-Men comic from the stands, walk over to the middle aisle in Fred Meyer's and pick up a pack of X-Men trading cards, and then go get a pizza that had an offer in it for a free X-Men comic if you got enough UPCs, That's a fantastic time in my life.
Best years of my life.
Best years of my life.
I guess the biggest trading card thing I had as a kid, which, since you were playing a game I didn't really think of as a trading card, was Pokemon.
Yeah.
This Pokemon trading card game. But
yeah. And trading card games really started taking off when I was in my early teens. So when I was in my early teens is when Magic the Gathering got huge. And then when I was 18 is when Pokemon came out. So the trading card games aren't as appealing to me as the trading cards that you don't do shit with.
Yeah, I never got the point of just collecting them for nothing. They seem more like game cards, like a deck of cards.
Right.
If I'm playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh was huge when I was like
Yeah,
that. Yu-Gi-Oh had first came
completely
out when
missed
I was a
Yu-Gi-Oh.
kid.
I was way too old for that.
I was prime age when it came out.
Mm-hmm. But trading cards have always featured very prominently into my marketing strategies. I've always found them to be very good for marketing. And 2018 is not going to be any different. I'm going to be using trading cards in a ton of my marketing. I actually have a really good strategy that I put in beta test in 2017, and I'm doing a full rollout of it in 2018.
Just be trading cards for days. People are gonna have these big old books.
They might. They might. I've now produced enough that it takes up more than one of the sheets. So,
Oh man, gotta get.
I have almost enough for 2 sheets.
No, you just flip it over and put them in the other way, so then you don't have to buy a whole new sheet.
Right. When I first started Darkslinger and I was going to just tons of conventions that had other comic creators at, a lot of the conventions I did in 2017 did not have very many comic creators at, as you know, because you were at quite a few of them. When I first started out, I primarily did shows that had other comic creators there. I'd carry around blank trading cards with me and have all these artists do my characters on these trading cards.
That's a cool idea.
It is. I have packs and packs of them, and some of them are from some pretty big artists.
Like who?
Paul Guinan did one of David from Ghost Assassin. Lucas Kettner, who's a friend of mine, but has since went on to blow up pretty well. He did David from Ghost Assassin. The first image Tony Morgan ever did of any of my characters was a trading card of Robert Von Helsing that he drew on at the Portland Comic Book Show. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta get this guy. I gotta work with this guy. And that's actually what put the idea in my head to have Tony start doing Chronicles Von Helsing. There was only one artist that had ever done Robert Von Helsing before that. Rudy Vasquez had drawn up the character designs for Robert Von Helsing, but he actually hadn't been featured in any stories yet. So Tony took him and added these extra details, I guess you say. Like he put earrings in Robert's ears, stuff like that he never had in his initial designs.
The little things.
The little things, but he made him very gritty. He took him and just on this little trading card very much made him his own character. That's a very specific Tony version of Robert Von Helsing that doesn't look quite the same when anybody else draws him, right? And I was just so in love with that. I was like, I got to work with this guy. So that's how that all got started.
That was many moons ago.
It was. That was quite a long time ago, but I can't remember all his drawn Ghost Assassin trading card for me at this point, or Chronicles Von Helsing, or any of that. That was before Bovine Muerte was a thing, so unfortunately I don't have any of them that feature Lay Mine by other artists. But I have lots and lots and lots of the Popper and David and Robert Von Helsing and by all kinds of different artists.
That's a neat thing to have.
Yeah, I thought so too. I loved having it. And
seeing what other people can do with it.
Yeah,
for fun.
I have one of Robert Von Helsing that Ty did. And that's, of course, probably my favorite one. And then I have one of Melissa that Alan did where he misspelled his name on the back of it.
He's old.
And that one's infamous.
He's too old to remember how to spell his name.
Apparently.
Even that long ago, he's still old.
Yes, he was. Alan, you're old if you're listening.
I get it. I'm right there with him.
So anyway, did you have any more questions about the marketing, about any of that?
I think you covered it rather well, and you'll have it all covered rather well.
Yeah.
When you go to launch.
I'm hoping so.
Sounds good. You get the people going.
Yes. There are a few other programs and marketing strategies that I'm going to employ. And as the Kickstarter grows closer, I will be discussing those in greater detail. The reason I'm not discussing them today is because I haven't fully mastered the knowledge behind them yet. So I'm going to, though. I've been spending many nights researching out some of these newer ways of promoting your Kickstarters that exist. And so I'll be talking about those in a future episode.
Oh, there's probably 1.5 million of them.
There probably is. So as this is our Thanksgiving episode, is there anything you'd like to say that you're thankful for?
Food.
Food. Okay.
I'm thankful to eat food.
All right. You having a good turkey-filled Thanksgiving this year?
God, it better be. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. You're not going to your mom's?
Oh, well, I think I am.
Okay.
I don't know. The plan's not set.
Gotcha.
As long as there's food, as long as she makes dinner,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care.
Well, here's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm most likely making Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to make Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to eat Thanksgiving dinner. Kids are going to be rowdy and scream a lot. But hopefully that turkey kicks in, makes them tired. And after everybody is a little bit tired, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch a Flintstones Christmas Carol. That's what I'm going to do.
You know, that may be my favorite Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck you for watching that before December.
Thanksgiving is the crossover date that you can finally start watching Christmas movies.
Just barely, but still no. But that's also coming from someone that hates Christmas.
Yeah, and I don't. The only genre of movies that I own that even come close to as many horror movies as I own is Christmas movies.
Oh God, why?
I don't know. I love Christmas movies.
I hate. There's some old cartoony Christmas movies that are all right to watch, but I can't stand Christmas.
Yeah, well, someday that grunchy heart of yours will grow. So
no, the only time it'll do that is when Christmas stops invading every other month. I hate going. Halloween's my favorite holiday.
Halloween is my favorite holiday too.
Thanksgiving is a close second because I like to eat all the food. But
Beltane's my second favorite.
I hate going to the Halloween section in stores and seeing Christmas lights there. Mm-hmm. And I hate Christmas invading the month of my birth.
Yeah, I can get that.
I can't. Fuck you, Christmas. Stick to 1 month. It should just have a month.
But that's not Christmas's fault. That's the people who want to make money off Christmas.
You can make just as much money.
And it doesn't mean that the Flintstones Christmas Carol and the Peanuts Christmas Special and the Grinch Who Stole Christmas aren't great and fantastic.
They're only great in the month of December.
No, you can watch them on Thanksgiving. Because there's like one good Thanksgiving movie ever made.
What?
See? You don't even know. It's not even a movie.
No. My guess would have been, what the hell? I can't. The Referee. But I think that might be Christmas?
That's Christmas.
Yeah.
The Ref.
The Ref
with Dennis Leary. That's Christmas. No, I was thinking of the Peanuts Thanksgiving special.
Oh, haven't seen it.
Yeah, see? It's not even consequential.
You know, I haven't seen any of the Peanuts movies in my life.
None of them? Not even the Christmas special?
None
or
of
It's a Great Pumpkin?
None of them.
Wow. It's amazing. So, I sincerely doubt I'll have time to pull it off in time for this year, but I have actually written out my first Christmas special now.
Ooh, a Christmas special.
Mm-hmm. It's 6 pages that is set in the Darkslinger universe in the most literal sense that's ever been used. Because this is a story where they're all kids, and it's going to be done in kind of a Calvin and Hobbes styling. So a little bit more newspaper strip style comics than, the comics that I normally do. But the whole story is going to be about Les Mimes' parents going to this Christmas party with a 8-year-old Les Mime. And before they get there, they have to go around a department store and shop for presents for all the kids that he goes to school with. So David, Popper, Katie from Principalities, Sally from Chronicles of Von Helsing. And the whole story hinges on them going around picking up presents for all these kids, with the backstory, story B, being Les Mimes' flashbacks of what's happened the previous day of school that caused the kids to have these presents. So, just for instance, like, Les Mimes has ruined the Popper's coat. So that's something that they have to pick up for the Popper, is a new coat for his Christmas present, right?
I like the idea. I think it'd be funny.
It should be really funny.
A cute little kids thing.
Yeah, it's a cute little kids thing, and I plan on having the very last page be all of them sitting together for a Christmas feast in a widescreen style. This is going to be something that I put up on the website, totally free for people to see. My kind of Christmas thank you, so to speak. The last page is going to be this pinup that, at the very least, even if I don't get the full story done, I'm going to get this done, because this is what I'm planning on sending out this year as the Christmas card. And if you don't know, every year since 2007, missing only 1 year, I've sent out a Darkslinger Christmas card.
My first Christmas card from you, Kate wrote on it, "Sorry about your dick." I don't think we'd have known each other for very long at that point, but that's what she decided to put on there for no good reason.
I'm hoping that maybe I can find an artist and the money, because, money's a constant issue when you have to put something together on very short notice. But if I can figure all that out, I would very much love to have this be something I post up during the month of December. But I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see. If not, there's 2018. 2018. I almost forgot what year it is.
There'll be another Christmas. Don't worry.
There will be. So 2018. So that's it this week for the Darkslinger Mafia podcast. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Go to www.darkslinger.com/El Bovine Muerte to see the brand new El Bovine Muerte Thanksgiving Day pinup. I think it's fantastic. Robert thinks it's fantastic. So hopefully you get a little bit of joy out of seeing that. If you'd like to find out more about us, you can go to the website, which once again is www.darkslinger.com. You can find us on Facebook under Darkslinger Comics. We also have fan pages for Ghost Assassin, Chronicles Von Helsing, and El Bovine Muerte. On Tumblr under Darkslinger Comics, and I also have one for El Bovine Muerte. On Instagram under Darkslinger Comics. On Twitter under Darkslinger Comics, and on Pinterest under Darkslinger Comics.
Pretty solid covering there.
Pretty solid covering, and for all I know, it's not even all the social medias I have. Without looking at the top of the Darkslinger website, I never remember them all. Google Plus. We're also on Google Plus as Darkslinger Comics.
It's too much social media, man.
I know. Oh, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn under Adam Watson. So, Robert, if people want to find you on social media, they can go absolutely nowhere.
You got that right.
So if you want to send Robert an email, just do it through one of the Darkslinger comics.
I'll
make sure he gets it.
But
you have a Facebook that you don't check. You never log into.
I get the emails about stuff that's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friends invite me to stuff. And then I text them.
For the Darkslinger Mafia podcast, this is Adam Watson.
Robert Diaz.
Thank you for listening.